My child, I need you to pause for just a moment. Do not look away. This is not just another string of words you have found by chance while scrolling through the noise of the world. I have specifically guided your eyes here at this exact time because there is something I must tell you. This is a divine appointment, a sacred pause in the middle of your ordinary day. This message has been traveling through time and space, searching for your heart. Many have already passed it by, their minds too cluttered with worries and their lives too hurried to notice the whisper of heaven. They missed their moment, and now a quiet regret lingers in their souls. But you, my child, you are here. You still have this chance. Listen to me with the deepest part of your being, for this is a rescue mission for your soul. I have been a silent witness to your life. I have watched you wage wars within yourself that no one else has ever seen. I have seen the heavy burdens you carry, the secret pains that you hide behind a carefully constructed smile. I have been with you in the dead of night when sleep would not come, when the darkness felt suffocating and you whispered into the void, asking for a zin, any sign at all. That I was still with you, that you had not been forgotten. And so, in answer to that desperate plea, I have placed this message directly in your path. I am here to tell you with all the love in the universe that I am near. I have never left your side. I have been closer to you than your own breath, walking with you through every trial and every triumph. Please, do not treat this moment lightly. Do not dismiss it as a coincidence. There are pivotal moments in a person's life that carry the weight of eternity, and for you, this is one of them. This is a deliberate interruption, a pause button pressed on the chaos of your world so that you can clearly hear my voice. The world will continue its frantic pace around you, but for this brief time, I have slowed everything down just for you. I am not speaking to the masses. I am speaking directly to the most intimate corners of your heart. I need you to understand what comes next, for it is the very thing your soul has been aching to hear. If you turn away from this now, if you let the world's distractions pull you back into the stream, you will miss the answer your spirit has been crying out for. But if you stay, if you quiet your mind and open your heart, you will begin to feel my presence enveloping you. You will know with a certainty that transcends logic that I, Jesus, am speaking to you. Not with the roar of thunder or the blaze of a great fire, but in a gentle, persistent whisper that resonates deep within your soul. So please stay, be still. Let my words be a balm to your weary spirit. This is your moment. This is your sign. This is your personal call from heaven. My precious child, listen with great care. What I am about to say is not a gentle suggestion or a vague piece of advice. It is a profound truth that your spirit cannot afford to ignore any longer. I have watched from eternity as generations have slowly drifted away from the light and truth I offered them. I have seen hearts that were once warm and full of faith grow cold and indifferent. I have watched as people began to chase the fleeting noise of the world instead of the lasting peace of my presence, pursuing temporary comfort at the expense of eternal truth. I have called out to them, again and again, in countless ways, but so many have chosen to turn away. They filled their hands with the glittering trinkets of this world until there was no room left to receive me. And now I am speaking to you, the one who nearly scrolled right past this message heaven wrote specifically for you. You almost missed the one voice that has been a constant, faithful echo in your life since the day you were born, the voice that whispers to you in those quiet moments when you feel most alone. You were about to look away, dismissing this as just another piece of content in an endless sea of voices. But I stopped time for you. I orchestrated this interruption in your path because your soul is still reachable. Your spirit is still redeemable, and you are still deeply and completely loved. Can you feel it? That gentle but firm pull deep within your chest. That trembling awareness that something beyond your physical senses is asking you to finally stop running. That is me. I am confronting you now, not with condemnation, but with a fierce and protective love. I speak with authority because I have seen too many souls ignore my calls until the door of opportunity finally closed behind them. You see, there are doors that I hold open for certain seasons in a person's life. They are doors of mercy, doors of healing, doors of restoration, and doors of return. But these doors, my child, do not remain open forever. This is not because my love is cruel or conditional, but because a heart that continually refuses to open will eventually harden beyond reach. I have seen it happen time and time again. Souls that once burned brightly with hope have grown dim and faint. Spirits that were once tender and receptive have become dull and calloused. They heard the very same call that you are hearing right now, and their response was always, "Later, not now. I'll get to it later." But for so many of them, later never came. Their ears grew deaf to my whisper. Their hearts became sealed off, and the grace that was meant to be their salvation slipped through their fingers. You are standing at that very same threshold at this moment. The door for you is still open, but you can hear the hinges beginning to groan with the passage of time. You have felt this tug of conviction before, haven't you? And you have gently pushed it away, telling yourself you would deal with it another day. You have felt me draw near to you in moments of profound silence, and you quickly changed the subject in your own mind, turning on the television, picking up your phone, filling the space with noise so you wouldn't have to face the quiet emptiness that resides within you. I saw you every single time. I waited patiently through every distraction, every excuse, every delay. And still, I continue to send you reminders. A song on the radio with lyrics that spoke directly to your situation. A kind word from a stranger that felt like a message from beyond. A breathtaking sunset that made you pause and feel a sense of awe for just a second. Those were all me calling out to you. Those were heaven's fingerprints, gently pressing upon the canvas of your life. Do you not see how many times I have intervened on your behalf? The car accident that should have happened but by some miracle didn't. The emotional breakdown that felt like the end but somehow transformed into a story of survival. The night you were convinced you could not possibly go on, yet the sun still rose the next morning, bringing with it a sliver of hope. I was there through it all, pleading silently with your spirit, "Come back to me. Come home before it's too late." You made promises to yourself and to me that you would. But then the days blurred together into weeks and months, and those promises faded like echoes in a busy street. Still, my mercy held you. Still, I waited. But now, my child, the season of waiting is drawing to a close. This message is different from the others you may have ignored. This one is written in the ink of urgency, a final, loving invitation before certain doors begin to close. You might be feeling a mixture of fear and hope as you read this. That is a good sign. It means your heart is still alive and responsive. It means my spirit can still reach the tender parts of you. So many have drowned out my whisper for so long that all they can feel now is a hollow emptiness. But you can still hear me. You can still be transformed. That is precisely why this message found you right here, right now. You must understand this, my beloved. Eternity is not some distant, abstract concept. It is one single heartbeat away. Every day, people leave this world without any warning. They were certain they had more time. They planned to choose me later when things settled down. Some of them even heard a call just like this one and casually dismissed it. For them, it is now too late. You are hearing it because, for you, it is not too late, but the window of opportunity is narrowing. I am confronting you like this not to condemn you, but to awaken you. You have drifted far from shore, but the act of drifting can be ended in a single, decisive moment. I know the voices that constantly pull at you, the deep-seated need to fit in and be accepted, the endless, exhausting chase for the approval of others, the craving for comforts that only numb you instead of truly healing you. I know the habits that have you in their grip. I know the secret guilt that whispers in your ear that you are too far gone, too broken to be redeemed. I know every single failure, every well-crafted excuse, every paralyzing fear. And still, I call you by your name. You have treated my grace like background music in your lifa, 𝐒𝐾𝐒 there, always available, something you can tune in or out of at will. But my grace is not a common thing. It is a precious, sacred gift, bought with blood and bound by time. My patience is vast like the ocean, but it is not endless because time itself is running out. The world around you is growing darker with each passing day, yet so many hearts are becoming dull instead of alert. The very signs that the prophets of old longed to see are unfolding before your very eyes, and still, many refuse to believe. They mock and they dismiss the truth. I am confronting that spirit of complacency in you now. Wake up before you join them in their slumber. This is not just another inspirational quote to make you feel good for a moment. This is a line drawn in the sand of your life. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot hold on to me with one hand while desperately clinging to your old life with the other. The time for indecision is over. Choose this day whom you will follow. The delay that you try to justify as cautiousness is, in reality, disobedience wearing a polite and reasonable mask. I love you far too much to lie to you or soften the truth. There will come a day when the door of mercy closes for the final time. On that day, those who hesitated and delayed will stand outside, pounding and crying, "Lord, Lord, open the door for us." But the time for choosing will be over. I do not want that to be your story. I ache for that not to be your story. That is why I am speaking to you now, with words that may seem sharp, but are saturated with a love deeper than you can imagine. You have one life to live. You have one soul to care for. You have one chance to respond to my call while breath still fills your lungs. Do not trade the eternal peace I offer for the temporary, fleeting comforts of this world. Do not let the constant distractions and endless noise of your culture drown out the sound of your own salvation calling to you. This is heaven's final, concentrated effort to reach the hearts of those who were on the verge of being lost. And one of those precious hearts is yours. Look around you. The signs are everywhere if you have eyes to see. Love is growing cold. Truth is being twisted and distorted until it is unrecognizable. Hearts are relentlessly chasing pleasure, yet they are starving for meaning on the inside. You see it. You feel it. And a part of you, deep down, knows that the clock is winding down. I am not telling you this to frighten you, but to prepare you. Those who respond to my call now will walk in a brilliant light while the darkness around them deepens. Those who refuse will drift further and further away until they can no longer hear my voice at all. You are still within my reach. You still have this moment in time. Do not waste it. Every second that ticks by after you read this is a mercy being extended to you. Take it. Grasp it. Let this loving confrontation become the turning point of your life, not your greatest regret. I stand before you with my arms opened wide, but I will not force you to come to me. I am knocking on the door of your heart, but you must be the one to turn the handle. I am calling your name, but you must be the one to answer. My beloved, come closer now. Let the voice that was a thunderous warning become a gentle whisper. I have not grown distant. I am drawing nearer to you, close enough to speak softly into your soul. You have heard the warnings, and now I want you to feel my heart. I have seen everything. I have seen your most secret and hidden pain. I have seen the quiet tears you quickly wiped away before anyone else could notice. I have seen the moments when you sat in complete silence, staring into space, trying to make sense of why life felt so impossibly heavy. I have seen the times you put on a brave face and laughed with all your might, just so others would not see the cracks forming beneath your smile. I was there in every single one of those moments. I was closer to you than your next breath, watching you struggle to carry burdens that were never meant for you to carry alone. You think no one saw the night you finally broke down, when your heart could no longer contain the weight of disappointment and sorrow. But I was there, right beside you. My hands were reaching out to you as you whispered into your pillow, "I can't do this anymore." I felt every tremor of pain that shook your body. I heard the words your soul was screaming, but your mouth could not form. When you were convinced that no one cared, when you believed you had become invisible to the world, I was bending close, listening to the silent language of your heart. Not a single moment of your suffering has ever escaped my notice. Not one of your tears has ever fallen to the ground unseen by me. You may have been silent before the world, but your silence was a deafening cry in the courts of heaven. I have seen how the sting of betrayal has carved deep scars into your heart. I saw the exact moment your trust was shattered, when someone you thought would be with you forever turned and walked away without a single glance back. I watched you as you tried to forgive, as you tried to understand, as you fought with all your might to keep your heart from growing hard and cynical. You felt foolish for having believed in someone so completely, and ashamed for having cared so much. But I tell you now, my child, your capacity to love was never wasted. Even the immense pain it caused became the fertile soil for a stronger, more resilient spirit to grow. I see how you carry those wounds so quietly, pretending they don't hurt anymore. Yet they still ache in the lonely hours of the night. Let me touch those wounds. Let me bring my healing light to the places that time alone could not mend. I have seen the profound exhaustion that lies behind your eyes. You wake up every single day and you put one foot in front of the other. You keep moving, but on the inside, you are tired in a way that words cannot describe. You have given so much of yourself, pouring your energy and love out for others until there was nothing left for you. You have smiled your way through storms. You have carried responsibilities that no one ever thanked you for, and you still felt a sense of guilt for not being or doing enough. I see that soul-deep weariness, my child. I see how heavy it feels to constantly hold everything and everyone together. I never asked you to be your own savior. You were never designed to bear the weight of the world on your shoulders. Let go. Even just for this moment, let go of it all and feel the strength of my arms catching you. I have seen your struggles within your family, the painful misunderstandings, the emotional distance, the words spoken in the heat of anger that can never be taken back. You have prayed for peace, for unity, for hurts to be healed, and you have wondered if I even heard those prayers because on the surface, nothing seems to have changed. But I have been working diligently behind the scenes, in ways you cannot see, gently touching hearts, slowly softening attitudes. The love you thought was lost forever is not gone. I am in the business of redeeming even the most broken situations. Keep trusting me. The final chapter of that story has not yet been written. I have seen your battle with spiritual emptiness, that dry season of the soul that made you question if your faith was even real anymore. You sit in rooms full of people and noise, yet you feel profoundly alone. You go through the religious motions, but something vital on the inside feels missing. You have cried out, "Lord, where did you go? Why can't I feel you like I used to?" I want you to know I never left. The The silence you are experiencing is not my absence. It is an invitation to go deeper. I am teaching you to hear me not only in the dramatic storm or the blazing fire, but in the still, small voice that resides in the quietest center of your being. I am near. You will feel me again, stronger and more clearly than before, because you will learn to recognize my presence even in the stillness. I know how you constantly compare yourself to others. I see how you look at their lives, which seem so perfect from the outside, and you wonder why your own journey feels so difficult and messy. I see the way you scroll through the highlight reels of other people's joy and wonder if you have been forgotten by me. But you have never, ever been forgotten. I have written your name on the palms of my hands. I have set your life apart for a purpose that is uniquely yours, something that cannot and should not be measured against what you see in the lives of others. Every delay you have faced has had a purpose. Every hardship you have endured has shaped you and forged a strength within you that you did not know you possessed. One day, you will look back and see with perfect clarity that nothing in your life was wasted. I have seen your prayers. Not just the ones you have spoken out loud, but the desperate, silent prayers whispered through tears. The ones you didn't even have the words for, the deep groanings of your spirit. You may have thought they went unanswered, but I was collecting every single one of them. Each cry from your heart became a seed, planted in the soil of eternity, just waiting for the right season to bloom. Some of those answers are already on their way to you. Others are being carefully shaped and prepared even as you read this. Do not give up praying. I have never, not for one moment, stopped listening. And I have seen the moments when you thought about giving up, not just on your dreams, but on life itself. I felt the crushing heaviness that made you think the world might be better off without you. My heart broke with yours in that dark moment. You didn't know it, but I held you then. I surrounded you with an unseen legion of angels, with a strength not your own, until that terrible storm passed. You are still here because I refused to let you go. You are still breathing today because I still have a beautiful purpose for you to fulfill. My beloved, this message was not sent to condemn you. I am not here to list your failures or magnify your flaws. I am here to rescue you from the clutches of despair, from the weight of guilt, and from the crushing burden of trying to do everything on your own. I am not angry with you. I am reaching for you with a love that is unconditional and unending. I am offering true rest for your soul, lasting peace for your mind, and deep healing for your heart. You do not have to do anything to earn my love. You already have all of it. So breathe now. Take a deep breath and let these words sink into your spirit like a gentle rain on a parched land. You are seen. You are known. You are loved more deeply and completely than you can possibly comprehend. Nothing you have ever done can change that, and nothing that has ever been done to you can take my love away from you. I am not finished with you yet. I am in the process of building something magnificent out of all the broken pieces that tried to destroy you. Stay with me, my child. Keep listening. I promise you I will turn your mourning into dancing. I will transform your sorrow into strength. You are not alone. You never were. This message reached you today because heaven has not given up on you, and I never ever will. My child, listen to me. My heart is heavy as I speak these next words, because I have seen firsthand how many precious souls have missed the very moments I sent to save them. I called out to them in the midst of their laughter, when joy filled their days, hoping they would remember the source of that joy, but they forgot it was from me. I whispered to them in the depths of their pain when their hearts were breaking, hoping they would lift their eyes toward me for comfort, but they looked elsewhere. I spoke to them in the quiet moments, through the breathtaking colors of a sunset, the silent majesty of a starlit sky, the unexpected kindness of a stranger, the fleeting sense of peace that brushed past their inner chaos. But they did not listen. They were so sure that they would always have more time. They thought my voice could wait for a more convenient day. I have watched as entire generations have passed, reaching for everything and anything but me. I have stood faithfully at the door of their hearts and knocked, but the noise of the world was always louder. I called to them through music that stirred their souls, through memories that made their hearts ache with a longing for something more. But still, they hurried on, too busy to pause. I have seen people come so agonizingly close to hearing me, so close to turning back home, only to be pulled away at the last second by one more distraction. I gave them gentle reminders, countless second chances, 1,000 small signs sprinkled throughout their days. But they wanted dramatic proof, not the quiet, steady presence of my love. Now, for many of them, their hearts have grown hard, their spiritual ears have grown dull, and my words simply echo into an empty silence. This very message that you are hearing right now is arriving too late for some. Their time to respond has passed. The voice they once heard faintly has now faded completely into a distant memory. Their stories could have been so different, filled with light and purpose, but they chose to turn away one too many times. My tears fall for them because I never wanted them to be lost. I never desired their distance from me. I called to them again and again, not in anger but in desperate, loving mercy. Yet mercy that is continually unreceived eventually has no choice but to slip away. Do you understand now why I am speaking to you with such urgency? It is because you still have a chance. The breath in your lungs at this very moment is a gift, a moment in time that could have already been close to you. Do not mistake my profound patience for indifference to time. I care about time deeply. I count every single moment you are given, and I fill them with opportunities for you to find your way back to me. But moments do not last forever. Doors do close, seasons do shift, and hearts can change in ways that make them unreachable. What feels endless to you now is not, in fact, endless. I have watched so many people wait until the fire of their conviction cooled, until the quiet voice of their conscience grew silent, until their hearts simply stopped responding to my gentle nudges. They sincerely believed they would turn back to me later, when life got easier, when the pain was less intense, when they had more time. But later never came. Don't let it be too late for you. Please, do not wait for a perfect moment to turn to me, because that perfect moment will never arrive. The perfect moment is now. This moment. The moment when your heart is still open, when you can still feel the truth of these words, when you can still choose. Every time you push away that stirring you feel inside, it becomes a little quieter the next time. Every time you consciously silence my whisper, it becomes easier not to hear it at all. I do not want that for you. I want your heart to be alive, awake, and burning brightly once again with the divine light that I placed within you long ago. Do you remember those times you almost reached for me? When life hurt so much and you wanted to pray but you didn't know what to say? When something deep inside you said, "Stop, be still, listen," but you brushed it away and kept moving? Those were missed moments of grace, pieces of heaven placed carefully along your path. I sent people to speak words of kindness to you, to remind you of hope. I sent songs that made your heart ache with a longing for something more. I sent quiet mornings when peace was so near you could almost touch it, but you hurried on to the next task. And yet still, I did not stop trying. I kept calling your name even through your silence. I have seen the countless times you told yourself, "I'll change later. I'll get serious about my faith someday." But later turned into weeks, the weeks turned into years, and someday never arrived on the calendar. You didn't intend to drift so far away. You simply forgot to anchor your heart to me. The powerful current of life just carried you away little by little, until one day you looked around and realized just how far from shore you had gone. But I was still there, calling softly across the water, waiting for you to turn back. You heard me sometimes, didn't you? Faintly, like a half-forgotten melody from long ago. And you said to yourself, "One day I will really listen." My child, that day is today. Do not let it be too late for you. You have not missed every single chance, or you would not be hearing this message now. You still have breath in your body, and where there is breath, there is mercy. This message is heaven's way of shouting to you that there is still time, but not much. You are standing in the space between what was lost and what can still be found. You are standing on the very line that divides those who responded from those who turned away for the last time. I am calling you with all the love in my being to step across that line before it disappears forever. I am calling you to make this the moment you choose life. You choose light. You choose love. I grieve for those who waited too long. They had my voice, my presence, and my word available to them. But they treated these sacred gifts like background noise. They labeled my warnings as fear, mongering my mercy as weakness, and my silence as absence. They reached for every empty promise the world offered, except the one promise that mattered for all eternity. They thought they could find peace without me, but true peace cannot exist apart from its source. They thought time was their ally, but in the end, time became their thief. I tell you all of this not to shame you, but to lovingly warn you. Their story does not have to be your story. Even now, I am reaching for you through these very words. Even now, my spirit is surrounding you, pressing gently against your heart, urging you to stop running. You can feel it, can't you? That internal pull that says, "This is for me." It is. You can still respond. You can still return. You can still be restored. I have not given up on you, and I never will, but I cannot choose for you. I will not force my way through the door of your heart. You must be the one to open it. Don't let it be too late. Don't let the noise of the world drown this out. Don't let your fear or your pride cause you to delay even one more time. Everything you have been searching for, pesa, meaning, forgiveness, lava, has been waiting safely in my hands for you all along. I do not want to lose you to the silence that has already claimed so many. I want you awake, alive, whole. I want you home, so hear me now. The moments you have missed are gone, but this moment is here. It is holy. It is yours. Do not let this be the one you miss. Let this be the one that changes everything. I am here, my child. I have always been here. Don't let it be too late for you. My beloved child, if only you could see what is truly happening around you in this very moment, your heart would tremble with both awe and a profound sense of urgency. You think you are simply sitting in silence, reading words on a screen, but there is so much more taking place than what your physical eyes can perceive. All around you, the unseen world is alive and pulsating with movement. The armies of heaven and the forces of darkness are engaged in a fierce contention for the allegiance of your heart. Every word you are reading, every thought that rises in your mind in response, every distraction that pulls at your attention, it is all part of this epic, invisible battle. This is not a metaphor or a flight of fancy. It is the deepest and most fundamental reality of your existence. I have watched you live your life, caught between two worlds without ever fully realizing it. You wake up, you go to work, you scroll through your phone, you fall asleep, and you think that the space between these activities is empty. But it is never empty. My angels stand guard near you, whispering words of peace, guiding your steps and protecting you, while at the same time demons prowl close by, whispering seeds of doubt, stirring up confusion, and doing everything in their power to dull your spirit. You are not invisible to them, my child. You are infinitely precious, And that is precisely why they fight so relentlessly to keep you spiritually blind. The enemy's greatest weapon is not always loud and destructive. More often, it is subtle and pervasive. It is distraction. He will not always come at you roaring like a lion. Sometimes he will come softly, wrapped in the guise of harmless entertainment, in the endless, mindless scrolling, in the constant flood of noise that fills your mind and prevents you from ever being truly still. He knows that if he can keep you perpetually busy, he can keep you spiritually empty. He knows that if he can keep you comfortably numb, he can keep you safely contained. That is why I am saying to you now, with all seriousness, wake up. Do not miss the significance of this battle by pretending it isn't happening. Every time you reach for your phone to escape a moment of silence, there is a whisper in the unseen realm urging you to listen instead. The pause, to breathe, to remember me. Every time you try to drown your pain in distractions, the forces of darkness rejoice, because you have willingly stepped away from the very place where I could bring you healing. I do not condemn you for this. I understand why you run from the silence and the pain. But running only keeps you trapped in circles while the battle for your soul rages on. And I want you to be free. You feel the tension of this spiritual war sometimes, without even knowing what it is. That sudden, inexplicable heaviness that descends upon you for no reason. That wave of sadness that comes out of nowhere. The deep restlessness that steals your peace and leaves you agitated. These are not always random emotions. Often, they are the echoes of the war being waged around you. The clash of light and darkness fighting for territory within your heart. You sense it in your dreams, in the weight of your thoughts, in the profound fatigue that no amount of rest seems to cure. The enemy does not rest, but neither do I. My angels are fighting for you, even as you read this, pushing back the shadows that have tried for so long to suffocate your hope. I have seen how often the world successfully pulls you away from what truly matters. The frantic race for success, the desperate need to be seen and validated, the constant chase for the approval of others. These are not goals, they are nets, disguised as ambitions. The enemy weaves them carefully, knowing that the more you chase after these things, the less you will notice what you are losing in the process. You think you are moving forward, but in reality you are standing still, trapped in destructive patterns that are slowly draining the life from your soul. And I stand right beside you, whispering, "Look up, my child. This is not real life. This is a beautifully decorated cage." Do you see how cleverly he works? He offers you temporary comfort while systematically stealing your eternal peace. He gives you fleeting moments of laughter that leave your spirit feeling even emptier afterward. He promises you freedom while subtly tightening the invisible chains around you. He wraps his deception in beauty, his false peace in momentary pleasure, and his spiritual blindness in busyness. Many people are spiritually asleep. Their eyes are wide open, but their souls are closed. They are walking through life completely unaware that they are drifting farther and farther from me with every step they take. My heart breaks for them. They are not wicked people. They are simply weary. They do not hate me. They just can't hear me anymore over the noise. I am warning you because I love you. I am speaking with such urgency because time is short. There is a great and powerful deception spreading throughout the world. And that tells people they can have light without truth, joy without surrender, and peace without me. It is a lie that whispers, all roads lead to the same destination, and holiness is an outdated concept, and obedience is unnecessary. But this is a poison wrapped in comfort. It numbs the conscience until hearts grow cold and indifferent to the things of God. I see how easily even my own children are lulled into a false sense of peace, believing they are safe while their faith quietly and slowly fades away. My child, I do not want that for you. I want you fully awake, spiritually alert and overflowing with my light. I want your spirit to be sharp enough to recognize when darkness is wearing a friendly smile. I want your heart to be brave enough to say no when the entire crowd is screaming yes. I want your ears to be finely tuned to the sound of my whisper, even in the midst of a roaring crowd. Do not ever think that the enemy will stop tempting you simply because you love me. In fact, he often attacks even harder those who are called to a greater purpose. But you do not fight this battle alone. You never have. Even now, as you read this, legions of my angels surround you. They are not distant myths from a storybook. They are powerful warriors sent to guard you, to guide you, and to fight for you in the realms you cannot see. They move through the shadows, shielding you from dangers you never even knew were approaching. When you were driving and narrowly escaped harm, when you fell but somehow found the strength to rise again, when you should have broken completely but somehow ended it. Those were their victories, fought under my command for your sake. Yet the greatest weapon in this spiritual war is not theirs. It is yours. It is your choice. You are the one who decides which voice you will listen to and which voice you will feed. Every moment you choose stillness over noise, prayer over panic, and forgiveness over bitterness, you strengthen the presence of light within you. Every time you surrender your fear to me instead of allowing it to rule you, the darkness loses ground in your life. The battle may feel invisible, but its results are written clearly in your sense of peace, in your clarity of mind, and in your ability to love when hate would be so much easier. The world will tell you that faith is a weakness, that belief is outdated, and that surrender is foolish. But I tell you the truth. Faith is the spiritual armor that keeps your heart from being shattered by the lies of the enemy. Faith is the holy fire that deflects the enemy's flaming arrows. Faith is what allows you to stand firm when everything else around you is collapsing. I am calling you to awaken that faith once again, to pick up the sword of truth that you may have laid down when the world laughed at you or made you feel foolish for believing. You are so much stronger than you think, not because of your own strength, but because my Spirit, the Holy Spirit, lives and dwells within you. Do not be deceived by a false pesa, the kind that comes from being comfortable while your spirit is starving. Real peace does not numb you, it liberates you. Real peace does not hide from problems, it heals them. The peace that I give can exist even in the center of a raging storm, because it is rooted not in your circumstances, but in me. The world's peace ends the moment trouble begins, but my peace deepens in the midst of trials. I am offering that supernatural peace to you now, right here in the middle of this unseen war. You may wonder why I am speaking so much about what you cannot see. It is because what you cannot see is shaping everything that you can see. The choices you make in this life echo into eternity. The thoughts you allow to take root in your mind become either the walls of your prison or the windows of your soul. The voices you choose to listen to will ultimately determine the direction of your entire life. You are not a powerless victim in this war, but you must be awake to fight effectively. So hear me, my beloved. Don't miss the significance of this battle by pretending it isn't happening. Don't let the noise and glitter of this world lull you into a spiritual sleep. Do not trade your eternal destiny for fleeting moments that fade like mist in the morning sun. Lift your eyes, my child. Feel the stirring of my presence all around you. The light is always greater than the darkness. The war may rage, but the victory has already been won. Stand with me, and no shadow, no matter how dark, will ever overcome you. My child, there are stories about your life, chapters of your journey that you do not even know exist. There are moments you have dismissed as mere coincidence that were, in reality, my mercy in disguise. That time the car skidded on a wet road and stopped just inches from the edge of a ravine. He was there. The timing that seemed so fortunate, when someone called you just as you were about to give up on everything. That was not luck. That was my hand, moving quietly and precisely through the fabric of time on your behalf. The night you collapsed onto the floor, utterly defeated, and said, "I can't go on," and then somehow, a wave of strength came from nowhere to carry you throughout. That was me, breathing my own life back into your lungs. You thought it was just chance that you managed to hold on, but it was I who was holding you. That moment you should have died, but didn't. He was there, standing between you and the grave. The heartbreak that felt so devastating it should have destroyed you. It carried you through it, moment by moment. The cruel words that would have broken your spirit completely were stopped and redirected before they ever reached your ears. The person who was set against you, but then suddenly changed their mind for no apparent reason. The accident that never happened. The destructive storm that passed just a few streets away from your home. None of these events were random. I stepped in, unseen and unacknowledged, over and over and over again, because you are precious to me. You did not notice because you were too busy just trying to survive, but I noticed every single detail. You are alive today because I refused to let death write the final line of your story. I remember the day you almost turned away from everything good in your life. The disappointment had grown so deep and bitter that you didn't want to hope anymore. You were ready to bury your dreams, lock away your heart, and resign yourself to living a half-life. I whispered to you then, not in a clap of thunder, not in a blinding light, but through a feeling you couldn't quite numb, a sudden, inexplicable calm that stopped you from giving up completely. That was me. I was fighting for you when you had no fight left in you. There were nights when you cried until your body shook, when the loneliness pressed down on your chest with a physical weight. I sat beside you through every single minute of it. You did not see me, but I wrapped you in a blanket of holy silence because any words would have been too loud for your fragile heart. When you finally fell asleep, exhausted from weeping, I guarded your rest. My angel stood watch over you so that no shadow of despair could come near you in your dreams. And the next morning, when you opened your eyes and felt the faintest, tiniest spark of courage to try again for one more day, the spark was my personal gift to you. When others walked away from you, I stayed. When you were lied to, I kept the flame of truth alive within you so that bitterness would not take root and poison your soul. When your heart began to harden from all the pain, I softened it again with small, unexpected kindnesses. The sound of a child's innocent laughter, a beam of sunlight breaking through a window at just the right moment, a piece of music that made you feel truly alive again, even if just for a moment. Those were all my reminders to you that life was still sacred, that you still belonged here, that you were still loved. I have followed you through every dark valley, not to punish you, but to protect the fragile part of you that still believes in the light. There were choices you made that should have ended in disaster. You stepped unknowingly onto paths where danger was waiting, and I redirected your steps without you ever knowing. You placed your trust in people who did not deserve it, and I turned their harmful intentions aside before they could fully wound you. You look at your story and you see it as full of failures and mistakes. But if you could only see what would have happened without my constant intervention, you would see nothing but a story saturated with grace. And so now, I call you back from the brink of despair and from the edge of indifference. I call you to see your own life through my eyes, to recognize the tapestry I have been weaving, where every dark thread of sorrow has been used to make the bright threads of joy stand out even more. Your life is not a series of random accidents. It is a masterpiece in a progress. The artist has never left your side and he is not finished yet. Come home, my child. Come back to the one who has been holding you all along.